You may have already noticed that strings are a little bit more complex than the int or double data types. That's because strings are objects, and all that you really need to know is that Java has already created a whole set of methods that you can use on individual string variables to learn a bit more about what they store and to manipulate that data. Let's say you have a string variable called original, and it just stores the characters A, B, C, D, E. Well, maybe I want to make a for loop that's going to loop over each individual letter. So if I start my for loop at 0, like usual, then I can set a for loop test less than the name of my string variable dot length. What this is going to do is return back the total number of characters within the string. And then I'm just going to want to count up. Now, this is going to work especially well starting I at 0 because each individual character in the string has an index. And the indexes, like most things in computer programming, start at 0, not 1. So I will show you. Let's say I'm just going to print out each individual letter and the index that it is at. So I would say the character at index I is, and then I can use another method provided to me by the string class to get out each individual letter. Now each individual character is returned not as a string but as a char data type. So I'm going to start with the name of my variable dot char at, and then I just need to pass in an index, and in this case I'm going to pass in I so that we look at each individual letter. Now if I run this, there you can see the character at index 0 is A, B, C, D, E. Now, I can also use another method called index of to return back whatever I'm looking for or if the character isn't found. So, for example, whoops, sorry, wrong shortcut. I can say the letter A is at index, and we may know it's 0, but in case we didn't know, we can use original dot index of, and then I can pass in the character I'm looking for, in this case A. Now if I rerun this, you'll see that it finds 0 for us. Well, maybe I want to look for the character E. Now you can see it returns back the index of 4. That's the last index in this string. Even though the length of the string is 5, since we start counting at 0, the index of the last letter is always going to be 1 minus the length. Now, what if I am instead, let's make that better, what if I am instead going to look for a letter, whoops, that doesn't exist? Let's say I want to look for capital A. Well, those are different characters in Java. So if I run this, you'll see that I get returned back -1. So if I'm searching for something and it doesn't exist, Java provides for me a way for me to know, hey, that doesn't exist in here. Well, what if I wanted to transform my string? Well, I can do that too. Let's say I want to change everything in original from what it currently is, which is lowercase, to uppercase, What this is going to do is toUppercase is going to look into what's stored in original and return back a new copy of the string, but all uppercase letters. Then in order for it to work, I have to save it back into the original string. Now, if I systemout.println original, you'll see that it's now all uppercase letters. There we go, uppercase A, B, C, D, E. And in fact, if I do this check again, now you'll see that capital A does exist. It's at index 0. Once you get used to using these different string methods, you'll notice there's a huge array of different things you can use. And IntelliJ will always suggest for you the different methods as you're typing them out. So it's a good idea to explore what's available and practice.